You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Brian Fullerton here. Another episode of Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, it's just me here in studio, fired up, ready to rock and roll. We're going to hit the afterburners on this talk because this is one that I've been wanting to share for a long time. And this is Fullerton Unfiltered. This is stuff that you guys don't pay good money for, right? So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Now, I'm not talking about me on the podcast necessarily. I want to talk about who are you listening to in life? Who are you getting education from? Who are you getting motivation from? What are you allowing that's going to go in your ear gate and eye gate? So a little bit of context here. Let's back up the train because a lot of us were self-employed. A lot of us were business owners. A lot of us were entrepreneurs. And the reality is that it's lonely. You don't get a lot of access to other people that are maybe doing what you're doing every single day. So there's not really a lot of camaraderie or bantering or encouragement. You might have, at best, you go to your local dealer, you go to a local trade show, you might see somebody once a year, and they want to encourage you and they believe in you, and that's awesome, right? Some of you might be part of like Facebook groups or text message groups or text chats, right? And you're encouraging you and your buddies or your friends, but the reality is that once you get on out there, it's pretty lonely. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. There's a reason there are endless podcasts, business books, entrepreneurial books, motivational speakers that are just out there pumping out good content to encourage you. And the reason is because it's lonely. You need help. You need to be encouraged every single day as an entrepreneur. Why? Because here's the reality of it. I'll just explain my situation, and I love to hear your guys' story. So shoot me some messages one day on Instagram or an email. Give me some feedback because here's what happens. At my house, it's a controlled environment. For the most part, Liz knows. She's got her rules. I've got my rules. We're very equally yoked. We're on the same page. We have a vision. We have goals. We're motivated. We break those goals down into daily, weekly, monthly habits, and we know what we're trying to do every single day. On YouTube, it's light, it's fluffy, it's great tips, it's helpful information, it's free content, right? I appreciate it. I know you guys appreciate it. On the podcast, we like to keep it upbeat. We interview guests, and we try to help you guys out with some business mindset and some tips and advice. But the reality is that when you walk outside of your front door, it's a war zone. Okay. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, the world is negative. The world is toxic. And that's not my worldview. That's just reality. My worldview is I'm blessed. There's prosperity. There's abundance. I'm not in competition with anybody because me winning doesn't make you lose, right? If I win, you can win. That's how I've operated my business. It's how I operate my life. But the reality is that there's evil, there's negative, there's complaining, drama, you're driving down the road, you get flat tires, there's bad days, there's negative energy out there, there's toxicity out there. And so when I do these podcasts and I do these videos, I have always said that I want my content to be an oasis of good information so that when you listen to it, you get done and you get fired up. It's not drama, it's not whining, it's not complaining. Like, for example, you're going to go outside, go work all day, whatever industry, whatever business you're in. And then for the love of God, you come home and you want to click on YouTube or Instagram or veg out on Facebook, and you stumble across negativity. Like, how ridiculous would it be for you to have a bad, hard, long day? Even if you had a good day, maybe you're on a win, maybe you're on a W, and you come home and then you put in negativity, toxicity, or garbage. Like, maybe you're, one of those folks that there's two camps out there. You don't know what you don't know, or you're doing it intentionally. Now, I'm going to give the folks that don't know what they don't know, they get a pass. But as an adult, when you're a kid, you did childish things, but when you became a man, you put away with childish things. So if you're not controlling your eye gate and your ear gate intentionally, then you're letting negative sources of energy and information come into your brain. And quite honestly, you deserve what you get. Okay. This isn't a condemning kind of a message. It's you got to wake up. You got to realize that every single day you're trying to take care of your wife, your kids, your family, maybe your parents, maybe you got sick parents, maybe you got elderly parents. The reality is that you're trying to take care of your finances, right? Whether you have $5,000 in the bank, you owe $5,000, you have $50,000 in the bank, you owe $50,000. Doesn't matter to me. The reality is that If you don't pay attention to your finances, if you don't pay attention to your money, you're going to get taken out. And no problem. Here's the bottom line is that the reality is that 99% of everybody's problems on this planet usually stem from financial situations. I mean, hate it or like it, it doesn't matter to me. The reality is that in most houses and most marriage situations, the fighting is usually because of money. There's not enough money to go pay the bills, right? There's not enough money to make the month meet at the end, if you will. Nobody has. I heard somebody say once, somebody has a bunch of arguments at their house with their wife saying, well, God dang it, would you stop leaving all these bags of cash all around the house? I keep tripping over them all, right? Like they always say, like the number one cause of fighting and divorce is money. Now, what does that talk? Now, let's talk about who are you listening to? Well, if you're listening to people who don't have their money together, you're listening to people who think that money is evil or prosperity is evil or rich people are evil, again, you're going to get what you deserve. So let's just look at the camp. If you didn't know what you didn't know, that's fine. Let this be a warning. But for the rest of you guys that aren't taking what you consume seriously, I just want to maybe pull some attention and pull it to the forefront of your mind. I heard somebody say that reading does for the mind what working out does for the body. What does that mean? Well, that means that you have to be intentional with what you consume. For example, when you're working out and you're trying to get healthy and you're trying to get fit, you're counting your fats, you're counting your carbs, you're counting your proteins, right? You're counting your macros, you're counting your reps, you're counting your heart rate. Well, you need to do the same thing with your mind. You need to not let things passively enter your brain. You have to be intentional. You need to plan out your food. You need to plan out your diet. Well, what does that look like? Well, I mean, I commend you guys for listening to this podcast, but you need to listen to good information. Now, listen to the Tony Browns, Tony Robbins, the Les Browns, the Gary V's, the Grant Cardones. Like, look for people like that encourage you. So for me personally, I've just seen so much garbage, so much nonsense, so much misinformation, right? So much noise. And by the way, we're going into political season here, which I can't wait. If there's any other thing I like more than lawn care, it's politics. And there's one thing I vowed to never get into on my channel is politics, because I'm a hardcore, I believe the way I do. And it's not too hard to believe that I'm not a conservative business owner, right? So I don't get into that. But here's the bottom line. The next 8, 9, 10 months, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, but in 2020, it's going to be a messy, messy year in the political arena. You have to, again, not let yourself get distracted or discouraged or start thinking negative thoughts about how the politics season is going. Here's the bottom line. All this stuff is noise that distracts you from the number one thing, and that is taking care of you and your family. Yes, you want to take care of your mom. Yes, you want to take care of your brother and your sister-in-law. Yes, you want to help everybody out. Yes, you want to help your church. But the bottom line is, if you've ever heard this one before, you know where I'm going, is if you're on an airplane and it loses oxygen, the first thing you need to do is put on your air mask first and everybody else's air mask second. Well, why? Because common sense says that if you pass out, you're no help to anybody else, right? Really, really simple, elementary stuff. But the reason I do this podcast is to bring these things to the forefront of your mind, where you can start to remember, oh yeah, I did hear about that. Oh yeah, I might have slipped. Oh yeah, I haven't been reading every night like I should be. Oh yeah, I'm not listening to podcasts every day that encourage me. By the way, my podcast comes out 1 to 3, maybe 5 days a week. It all depends, right? There is thousands and thousands of podcasts. And by the way, you usually probably have an 8 to 10 hour day if you're doing what I do, which is lawn care landscaping. So that being said, you have to realize that you have to fill your brain with 3, 4, 5 hours more of content every single day, outside of whatever you're going to get as encouraging for me. One thing I wanted to go down a rabbit hole with is, I heard this a long time ago in a motivational success book, some self-help book. I can't remember. I've read all of them. And just being real, people are like, are you educated? I'm like, well, in like the traditional sense, like college? No. But I bet you I spent a couple of $1,000 going to business conferences and seminars and motivational this and, reading self-help books and, buying online training courses. People give, me a hard time for having training courses. I'm like, hey, dude, I learned how to become a successful person by buying people's training courses online. I think you can buy somebody else's thoughts for $50, $100, $1,000. You kidding me? But one thing I heard a long time ago, and this is a really popular one, is the workflow or the river of thoughts, like how things affect your life. And it was, if you control your thoughts, you can control your words. Your words then turn into what you say, and your words turn into actions. Your actions turn into habits, and over time, habits will define your character. So let's go through that backwards. So if you have your characters from your habits are from your actions are from your words, and your words are from your thoughts, well, what's going to start that whole process? Does anybody have any ideas? The bottom line is what you hear and what you see. Again, it goes back to, you got to learn where to consume information, and you have to protect where you get that information. And so this might be a little bit different podcast than you're used to, but this is the bottom line, is that one thing that Liz and I are extremely cautious on is who we listen to, who we take advice from, and what we let into our ear gate and our eye gate. For example, when I'm reading YouTube comments or Instagram comments and I see a negative post, I don't even really let it into my ear gate because it's already deleted before I even let it affect my conscious or my subconscious. And to be even more honest with you, I have my wife half the time moderate these comments, because I have 100,000 people that are leaning onto me for encouragement, arguably every single day, every single week. And I'm not saying that pretentiously. I'm just saying the reality is that there's 100,000 people that are trying to consume what I'm putting out. And if I have one bad comment that turns into one bad day or one bad thought, or I have a negative fight with my wife, and now I go make a video and I'm negative, or I'm whiny, or I'm complaining, or I'm not encouraging, it's going to spark 100,000 people. And I'm just being real. Like, what? Okay, let's just say it's 5,000 people. 5,000 other people listen to what I have to say. They have a bad day. They listen to me. They have an even worse experience or feeling, or, negative worldview. And then they go home and they're a jerk to their kids. They're a jerk to their wife. The cat's just, purring on their leg, wanting some food, and they kick the cat, for crying out loud, right? So you have to control your ear gate and your eye gate. Why? Because it controls your thoughts, and your thoughts turn into words. Your words turn into actions. Your actions turn into habits. And over time, that'll define your character. So one thing I want to give you guys, just a quick little tip here. I've learned this from a guy that I listened to a conference a long time ago. And he said, when you're listening to somebody, here's two litmuses. Here's two things that you need to pay attention to. Number one, what is their credibility? And number two, what is their agenda? So I'll let you think about that for a quick second. What is their credibility and what is their agenda? So the person that you're consuming information from, or somebody's dispensing advice, what's their credibility in life? Like, for example, I don't have it all figured out. I am not, on the top 10 list of, Success Magazine. Who am I, right? I'm a traditional lawn care business owner up in Michigan, and, we have a decent little income, a decent little life. But here's the bottom line. I take care of my health to a degree. I work out semi-regularly to a degree. I have a decent marriage to a degree. I feel like I have a pretty good marriage. Our finances are in order. We don't have any debt. We're happy. We are joyful. We're excited. We have passion. We have a vision. And bottom line is that I am a decent, I would say, source of information. I would say I have some credibility, maybe just offering a little bit of advice and a little bit of encouragement. Now, here's the bottom line. If I said, listen to me to learn how to grow a 7-figure a year lawn care business, you probably would not want to listen to me necessarily. I might be able to give you some general ideas or things that I know have worked for other folks. But the bottom line is that I've never created a 7-figure lawn care business or service business. So why would you, consumer, listen to what I have to say on that topic? And I say a lot of times to the folks that I work with, and we do videos together, and people that I've partnered with, I always say, hey, you stay in your lane, I'll stay in my lane. I'm going to just talk about what I know that I am a credible source of information about, right? I'm going to stay in my lane. You don't see Brian's Law Maintenance giving training about retaining walls. You don't see Brian's Law Maintenance giving information about how to build a water feature, right? I know general things. I understand how to lay base material. I understand that, open graded stone. I understand certain things about retaining walls and, certain things. I watch stuff from Caleb Allman and many other folks, but I'm not a master in those things. I don't have credibility. And so two things. One, if I start giving it out, you need to ask, what's the credibility there? Is this guy in a position to be dispensing that information? So That being said, look at the world around you. You go home, you jump on Facebook, and your ridiculous brother-in-law or your, uncle who's had 7 different jobs and, has been divorced twice and is living in a trailer. By the way, I grew up in a trailer, so I can say that. So the guy has probably a little low credibility, not the best world experience. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm just saying, is he somebody that has credibility? And you see him ranting on Facebook. Can you believe these Republicans? Can you believe these Democrats? Can you believe the so-and-so person? Frickety frack, blankety blank. Now, he probably doesn't have 10 years behind him or under his belt in talking politics and, having a lot of credibility and information. You just look at his life and you're like, he's got an opinion. He doesn't have a lot of facts, right? He doesn't have a lot of credibility.
Enjoying today's show? Motivated to take your lawn care and landscaping business to the next level? Learn what it takes to grow your lawn and landscaping business today with training and education from the Lawntrepreneur Academy. Get educated with how-tos on mulch installation, plowing snow, aeration and overseeding, and so much more. These training programs are designed to help you save time and make more money with your business. Invest in your future by first investing in yourself. Use promo code PODCAST to save 10% on all courses today at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com. Now, back to the show.
The reason I say that is because you're going to want to evaluate who you're listening to. You have to be intentional. Number 2, what's their agenda? So, for example, on this podcast, I'm giving advice about how to run a, sub $250,000 a year lawn and landscape business and help you guys go out there and crush it and be more successful with your business. By the way, be more successful with your life. See, if I can help you have a successful life, there's a good chance you're going to have a successful business. But if I help you have a successful business and your life fails and your life falls apart, you get divorced, your kids hate you, your wife hates you, your employees hate you, that's not happiness. That's not success. So the reality is I'd rather teach you how to have a successful life, not just a successful business. But here's the deal. Here's the bottom line. What's my agenda? I wonder if you guys have ever thought that. What's the agenda? Why is Brian Law Maintenance doing all this? Here's the bottom line. I wanted to help somebody that got started in business like I did 10 plus years ago that didn't have a single ounce of resource available to them. I want to help the newest guy get started in our industry and have a chance of making it. I wanted to help the person, the younger me, the 10 years ago me, that literally had no clue, no mentors, no help, no nothing. By the way, no money, no resources. By the grace of God that I was even, around my 2nd, 3rd, 4th year in business. I want to help that guy. I want to help that guy all the way to the $250,000 a year guy. And by the way, everybody else, whether you're a homeowner or you have a bigger business, hopefully we can entertain you and maybe teach you something that you haven't thought about or you forgot and just bring it to the front of your mind. But my agenda is helping people. I've never done anything to quote unquote make a buck. Now, I will say this, we're smart enough to monetize the hobby, right? Because podcasting equipment's not free, cameras aren't free, doing YouTube isn't free, having employees work extra hours while we film videos is not free. So you have to monetize the hobby, I always say. So when guys are like, hey man, I just bought some training programs, Lawntrepreneur Academy. It's not because, oh great, I made $50. It's, man, that's $50 that I can pour back into my community to help those folks grow a more successful business. Everything we make, we reinvest into you guys. So for all of you guys that do use the links and blah, 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 it is really appreciated. I know we plug them a lot, but the reason we plug them is to create content like this exact podcast. Just this microphone and mixer was $1,500. By the way, that wasn't coming out of my family's budget. You know what I mean? We didn't have that to burn. Maybe you guys have $1,500 sitting around, but I didn't. So let's recap. What's their credibility and what's their agenda? You listen to a politician on TV and they're like, hey, well, let's go, build something or do something or send something. What's their agenda? What's the reason they're doing it? That's how you start making intelligent adult life choices, right? One other thing I wanted to talk about was the opinions of the internet. Websites that offer reviews, people that say mean things or nice things, or other people have YouTube channels that say stuff about me, and then you look at the credibility and it's laughable. I mean, you pop it with a pin because there's nothing but hot air. It's just the funniest thing in the world to me. So here's one thing I wanted to give you guys an idea, and let me know if you've ever known this. But you look at review websites. Did you know that many of times review websites themselves are actually funded by companies that send the product to have tested to then have reviews posted on their website? So for example, consumerreports.com. You're like, oh, Consumer Reports, man, super unbiased, really good website, XYZ PDQ. Well, they just reviewed this new Whirlpool washing machine, right? Washer, if you're down in Indiana, the washer machine, right? And here's the deal. You are like, oh my God, it's a 4.7 out of 5. That new washing machine is amazing. Well, here's what you don't know. And this is just the internet. This is 2020. This is the world you live in today. It's called independent fact checking. Is that when you actually dig deep, you find out that Whirlpool's number one sponsor or advertiser or runs ads on their website is, drumroll please, boom, Whirlpool. So yeah, Consumer Reports is going to give them a 4.7, 4.9 out of 5 because why? They did $100,000 worth of ad spend with that company. So you have to start looking at, reviews, like, is there actual credibility behind them or are they fabricated? You have to be intelligent. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about was when you start listening to only the reviews of websites and you stop listening to your own opinion and review. Well, what do I mean? Well, there is so many times, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys, that we look at, Yelp, right? We all want to go out to eat, and it's Friday night, and there's a, fish place, there's a steak place, there's a local bar or brewery, and, we start pulling up Yelp. We start pulling up the Google reviews, right on the Googler, and it's like, Mike's Beer and Pretzel Tavern or something like that, or, Luigi's Italian Restaurant. I don't know. These are probably pretty stereotypical names, but, we're starting running through these reviews and it's like, 3.7, 2.8, and there's, 180 reviews and 50 of them are 5-star, 40 of them are 4-star, 30 of them are 3-star, 40 of them, 25 of them are 2-star, and 20 of them are 1-star. Well, let me ask you this. When you start going through reviews, do you start at the 5-star? Oh, amazing experience. Or do you start at the 1-star? And for real, I know what I do. I instantly click the 1-star. I want to go, I'm looking for the negative first. That's how my brain is carnally, even Mr. Success, Mr. Motivation, my brain is carnally wired to want to look at the 1-star negative reviews first. Same thing with Amazon, right? I always look at the 1-stars first. Well, here's why. What does your brain do? Oh, yeah, terrible service, terrible waiter. Hostess didn't even care that we were there. It took us 45 minutes to get sat. Food was cold, wanted to send it back. Server gave me attitude. Manager didn't even cop my food, right? And you're like, you're just negative, man. You just search out the first 5 things. Negative, 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 negative. And you know what you do? Hey, man, we're not going to Luigi's. That place sucks. Well, did you even go there? Did you even form your own opinion? Have you ever been there? Have you ever tried the food? Like, if it's getting a 1-star out of 5,000 reviews, probably not the restaurant for you. But the reality is that stop taking other people's opinions and making them your own. You haven't formed an original thought in a long while, and I challenge you, why? Why are you listening to the opinions of so many other people, and why have you turned off your own ability to make decisions and think for yourself? It's called being an independent thinker. It's called, what's the credibility? What's the agenda? What are we trying to do? So a lot of folks know this, and I'm not talking about being woke, okay? I'm talking about learning how to use your brain and evaluate things. It's how to make decisions. It's how to think on the fly, if you will. So that being said, why do we share this on a podcast? Like I said earlier, there's people that are ignorant, and there's just people that are intentionally not taking care of their brain. Those are the folks that I wanted to talk to the most. I'm not here to get in your face, although if I am, and it's making you mad, that's fine. Hopefully it challenges you to do something different. And you know what? If you're enjoying this, you don't mind a swift kick in the butt once in a while, like I do, and have an actual man talk to you like a man, then here's a tip. Maybe you need to get a little bit more of that in your life and go join a community, whether it's a hunting fishing community, a church group, a small group, maybe going to get into a Bible study for once. Why don't you actually try to make your life intentional instead of just being a piece of lily weed rolling down a lazy river and not having anything to account after. You're just drifting downstream, man. What's the old saying, by the way? A dead fish can swim downstream, or go downstream, but it takes a strong fish to swim upstream. So, by the way, it's called Unfiltered. So if you don't like it, not my problem. There's a lot of other podcasts out there. Here's the deal. I'm not trying to form a wedge with any of you guys. I don't have, I'm not here to be the authority. Okay. I'm just telling you, wake up. I'm just telling you, you got to realize who are you listening to out there. I'm just trying to help you out. I'm just trying to help you guys make your own independent thoughts. By the way, I will say this for all of you guys that encourage me, I appreciate it. For all of you guys that pray for me and Liz, we appreciate it. For all of you guys that have my back on Facebook groups and YouTube, and you just know I'm just trying to honestly help you guys, I appreciate that. And there's an overwhelming, I can't believe actually how much advocacy you guys do for me out there. And there's not a lot of negativity about me out there or anything like that on the internet, but I just truly appreciate the community. I appreciate you guys. You guys make me sharp. You guys make me want to be a better person. I would call it a leader. You guys make me want to be a better leader in this industry. And I don't profess to be a leader in what we do. I just understand the position we're in. We got a lot of people looking up to us and taking advice from us. And you know what? I want to do the best I can to help you guys grow, help you guys succeed. Because I know what it's like to be poor, broke, and busted and not have your business work. And I want to help you guys, not have to go through those pain points and that suffering like we had to do. Let's give a couple wrap-up thoughts here. Number one, not all information out there is created equal. Okay, not all information that's out there is created equal. Free information can be expensive. Expensive information can be a deal. What does that mean? Free information can be expensive. You take advice from somebody on the internet, you don't know their credibility or agenda, it can end up costing you a lot of money. You take somebody's advice, you make a bad decision, you make a bad investment, it might cost you thousands of dollars, it might cost you months or years of your life. Free information can be expensive. By the way, expensive information can be a deal. I, all the time, am buying people's time, buying people's education, buying people's information. There's times where I'm on my phone with my lawyer and he is $125 an hour just to talk to him about the simplest stuff you would ever imagine. It's called a retainer. We have a $1,500 retainer with our lawyer. Our CPA, my CPA, he $3,000 to have a wealth strategy session with him. It included a bunch of back-end tax stuff and then 6 1-hour coaching calls each. It's about $275, I think he charges per hour to get with my CPA. Here's the deal though. My CPA will save me thousands and thousands and thousands and multiples of whatever I'm paying him based on the information he's going to give me with his professional advice. Remember, expensive information can be a deal. So when somebody's like, hey, a $99 coaching call on launchpreneuracademy.com, well, the specific information that you get from me as I listen to you and your story and we get to know each other, and then I can help you maybe just make a couple suggestions on whatever couple questions you have. That specific information, a $99 coaching call might end up saving you or making you $10,000 to $15,000 depending on your scenario. Happens all the freaking time. That's why we're always on the phone with you guys, which I appreciate the business and I also appreciate helping you guys out. What was I talking about? Legal fees, lawyer fees, accounting fees, mentorship. If you guys can get access to a mentor, I talk about him a lot on my podcast, my friend Mike Bedell. The guy has put a lot of good information in my brain and I'm forever grateful and forever indebted for the ways he's helped me grow my business. The bottom line is that I spent a couple $100 taking him to steak dinners and he gave me 4, 8, 10 plus hours of mentorship. He didn't even charge me a dime. He's like, hey, just buy me a nice steak dinner. Let's go out. Let's just hang out. Let's just be buds. Let's just be friends. I said, dude, that's the least I can do. Now, I don't even know what to do. All the time, I'm like, hey, dude, here's a free product that a company sent me. I used it like 3 times. Here, you can have it. It's $200. We go out to dinner. I buy them every single time we go out to dinner. I try to buy Mike's and Brandon's lunch and dinner just because I appreciate people, right? So mentorship, right? Anytime you can take care of those people that have poured into you, man, that's the best way to do it. Keith Kalfas, all the time, has helped me grow my Launchpreneur Academy training website. It is probably a monthly thing, and you can ask Keith to fact check and verify. It is a monthly thing where I send him and Ashley a $50 usually gift card to Olive Garden or Outback because I know they do Tuesday night date nights, and I'm always trying to send that guy. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I appreciate that guy. He's helped me make more money. He's helped me change more lives. And without him, I wouldn't know where I would be with my training company, which has been a huge part of my life. So I'm trying to take care of the people who have taken care of me. It's called mentorship. It's called being thankful, right? Last thing I'm going to say is, and hopefully we're still friends by the end of this podcast, is fact check. You guys have got to learn how to think. Make up your own damn mind. Test, verify, demo, experiment. Make up your own opinions and stop listening to everybody that's out there. Let's wrap it up with this. What's their agenda? What's their credibility? There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of nonsense, and a lot of garbage. Here's why you got to be fanatical about what you let into your ear and your eye gate. Because what you let into your ear gate and your eye gate is going to what? Form your thoughts. Your thoughts form your words form your actions form your habits, and your habits form your character. You guys want to have a great, successful life? Start by watching what you put into your ears and your eyes. And I will say, after many weeks and months and years, it's just like when you have a bowl of water and maybe it's poisoned. If you just keep flooding it with a trickle and then a constant stream of good information, of pure water, eventually that poisonous bowl will go from a dark green to a crystal clear water, and you'll be able to drink out of it. And that is how your life becomes more successful, more prosperous, more bountiful, and more helpful. And that's how you can then turn around and change other people's lives. All right, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. If so, let me know. Shoot me some DMs. Shoot me some emails. Appreciate you guys big time. If this podcast was a little in your face, hey, I'm not sorry. Sometimes you need to hear this kind of stuff. And you know what? This is the kind of stuff that helped me become a better man, a better business owner, a better human being, a better person in society, to take care of my wife, my future kids, my mom, my mother-in-law, and a lot of you guys. So that being said, appreciate you guys big time. We'll catch up with you. Over and out.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.